Have you ever noticed that some men barely say a few words, yet they leave a lasting impression wherever they go? They aren't always the wealthiest, the most handsome, or the loudest person in the room. Still, people remember them. Their conversations linger in the minds of others long after they've ended. What creates that kind of presence? Most people assume attraction is built on clever pickup lines or saying the perfect thing. But psychology paints a different picture. The words themselves are only part of the equation. What truly matters is the emotion behind them, the confidence with which they are spoken, and the feeling they create in another person. Today's video isn't about manipulating anyone or using tricks to control emotions. Genuine attraction cannot be forced. Real connection grows from authenticity, emotional intelligence, and respectful communication. Understanding how people naturally respond to confidence and empathy can help you become someone others genuinely enjoy being around. Welcome to Magnetic Presence Mastery, where we explore the psychology of confidence, communication, attraction, and personal growth. If you're interested in developing a calm, magnetic presence and building stronger relationships, you're in the right place. Think about the people you remember most. Chances are, it wasn't because they talked the most. It was because they made you feel understood, respected, or inspired. Human beings don't simply remember conversations, they remember emotions. Research in psychology suggests that emotionally meaningful interactions are far more memorable than ordinary exchanges. When someone feels heard, appreciated, and comfortable in your presence, they're much more likely to remember that interaction positively. That's why meaningful communication often has a greater impact than rehearsed lines or attempts to impress. Unfortunately, many men believe attraction comes from trying harder, sending constant messages, seeking approval, or always trying to prove their worth. Ironically, these behaviors often create pressure instead of comfort. Confidence isn't about chasing attention. It's about showing self-respect, being emotionally grounded, and communicating with genuine interest. Throughout this video, we'll discuss 3 simple phrases that reflect those qualities. These phrases aren't magic words, nor are they guaranteed to make someone think about you all day. Instead, they represent attitudes that encourage trust, curiosity, and authentic connection when expressed sincerely. As you watch, don't focus on memorizing the exact wording. Instead, pay attention to the mindset behind each phrase. The intention behind your words often matters more than the words themselves. By the end of this video, you'll better understand why confidence is quiet, why authenticity is memorable, and how thoughtful communication can leave a positive, lasting impression. If you're ready to develop a stronger presence, improve your conversations, and understand the psychology behind meaningful attraction, stay with us until the end. Let's begin with the first phrase and, more importantly, the mindset that gives it real power. In the next section, you can transition into phrase number 1 with examples, psychological explanations, and storytelling to keep viewers engaged. Imagine you're talking to someone new. Most conversations follow a predictable pattern. One person talks about themselves, the other waits for their turn to speak. Everyone wants to be interesting, but very few people focus on being genuinely interested. That's where the first phrase comes in. I'd like to hear your perspective. At first glance, these words seem simple. They're not dramatic or flirtatious, yet they communicate something powerful: respect. Psychologists have long observed that people tend to enjoy conversations where they feel heard and understood. When someone senses that you're sincerely interested in their thoughts, not just waiting to impress them, they're more likely to relax and engage. Notice that this isn't about pretending to listen. People are surprisingly good at detecting when interest is fake. Authentic curiosity is difficult to imitate. Imagine this scenario. You're having coffee with someone. Instead of quickly changing the subject back to yourself, you ask what they think about a topic they care about. As they answer, you listen without interrupting. You ask thoughtful follow-up questions. You pay attention instead of planning your next response. What happens? The conversation becomes more natural. Trust begins to develop because people often feel comfortable around those who make them feel respected. This is where many people make a mistake. They believe attraction comes from saying impressive things, showing off achievements, or trying to appear perfect. Ironically, constantly trying to impress can create distance. Confidence doesn't always sound loud. Sometimes confidence sounds like patience. Sometimes confidence sounds like curiosity. Sometimes confidence sounds like silence while someone else finishes speaking. Emotionally intelligent people understand that every conversation is an opportunity to learn something new. That mindset changes everything. Instead of asking, how can I make this person like me? Ask yourself, how can I make this conversation meaningful for both of us? That small shift changes your energy. You're no longer seeking approval, you're building connection. Another important point is eye contact. Maintaining comfortable eye contact while listening communicates attention and presence. Combined with relaxed body language, it helps the other person feel that you're fully engaged in the moment. Of course, everyone is different. No single phrase creates attraction on its own. People's reactions depend on personality, context, shared values, and mutual interest. But one principle remains remarkably consistent. People often remember those who make them feel respected. As you continue watching, you'll discover the second phrase, a simple way to express confidence without arrogance and create conversations that people genuinely enjoy. This ending naturally sets up part 3 while encouraging viewers to keep watching. Take your time. Now let's move to the second phrase. At first, it may not sound romantic at all. In fact, most people overlook its power because it seems too ordinary. The phrase is, take your time. Why does this matter? Because in today's fast-paced world, people often feel pressured. Conversations move quickly. Text messages demand instant replies. Social media creates the expectation that everyone should always be available. Someone who communicates patience instead of pressure often stands out. Imagine you're having a conversation and the other person pauses before answering. Instead of filling the silence or rushing them, you simply smile and say, "Take your time." Those 3 words communicate something deeper than patience. They say, "I'm comfortable. I'm not trying to control this conversation. I respect your space." Psychologists have found that people generally feel more comfortable around individuals who reduce social pressure rather than increase it. Feeling emotionally safe encourages openness and honest conversation. This doesn't guarantee attraction, but it can create a better environment for genuine connection. Think about 2 different people. The first constantly checks their phone, interrupts, and expects immediate responses. Every interaction feels rushed. The second remains calm. They listen carefully, allow silence when needed, and never make the conversation feel like a competition. Which person would most people feel more relaxed around? The answer is usually obvious. Calmness is often mistaken for passivity. In reality, calmness is frequently a sign of confidence. Confident people don't feel the need to rush every interaction. They understand that meaningful relationships develop over time. This mindset also applies to texting. Many people become anxious if someone doesn't reply immediately. They send multiple follow-up messages or assume the worst. But emotionally secure people recognize that everyone has responsibilities, work, family, and personal time. Giving someone room to respond naturally often creates a healthier dynamic than demanding constant attention. Another important lesson is to become comfortable with silence. Silence isn't always awkward. Sometimes silence gives both people a chance to think. Sometimes silence allows emotions to settle. And sometimes silence makes the next words more meaningful. People who are comfortable with brief pauses often appear more composed because they don't feel compelled to fill every second with conversation. That quiet confidence can leave a positive impression. Remember, the goal isn't to use this phrase as a trick. The goal is to adopt the attitude behind it. Respect, patience, emotional maturity, those qualities tend to improve conversations in every part of life, not only dating, but friendships, family relationships, and professional settings as well. So, the next time you're speaking with someone, don't focus on saying something clever every minute. Focus on making the interaction feel comfortable and genuine. Sometimes the strongest impression isn't created by saying more. It's created by making another person feel at ease. And that brings us to the third and final phrase, one that reflects confidence, honesty, and authenticity without trying to force a specific outcome. Enjoy talking with you. Now we've reached the third phrase. Ironically, it's also the one many people hesitate to say, not because it's complicated, but because it requires something that can't be faked for long, genuine confidence. The phrase is, I enjoy talking with you. Notice what this statement is and what it isn't. It's not a grand declaration of love. It's not a promise. It's not pressure. Instead, it's a simple, honest expression of appreciation for the conversation you're having. From a psychological perspective, people generally respond well to sincere, specific, and respectful compliments. Unlike exaggerated praise or rehearsed lines, a genuine statement about enjoying someone's company focuses on the interaction itself rather than placing expectations on the other person. Imagine you're wrapping up a conversation. Instead of trying to invent the perfect closing line, you simply say, I enjoyed talking with you today. Then you smile and continue with your day. There's no pressure for an immediate response, no demand for validation, no attempt to force the moment into something it's not. That kind of honesty often feels refreshing because it communicates confidence without entitlement. Why authenticity matters. Many people fall into the trap of trying to sound mysterious or impressive all the time. But real confidence isn't about hiding who you are. It's about expressing yourself clearly while respecting the other person's feelings and boundaries. Psychologists often describe authenticity as a key ingredient in building trust. When your words match your actions, people know what to expect from you. That consistency creates comfort over time. The difference between neediness and confidence. Consider two different approaches. The first person says, "Please text me as soon as you get home. I hope you don't forget about me." The second person says, I enjoyed talking with you. Have a great evening. The first message seeks reassurance. The second simply shares appreciation and leaves room for the other person to respond naturally. The difference isn't in the number of words, it's in the mindset. Confidence doesn't chase constant validation. It communicates honestly and then allows the other person the freedom to decide how they feel. Becoming memorable people often remember interactions that made them feel respected, comfortable, and appreciated. That doesn't mean every meaningful conversation leads to romance. Sometimes it leads to friendship, sometimes it leads to professional opportunities, sometimes it's simply a positive moment in someone's day, and that's enough. When your goal shifts from how do I make someone like me to how do I create a positive interaction, your conversations become more natural. Ironically, that authenticity is often more attractive than any rehearsed technique. The real secret. Throughout this video, we've explored 3 simple phrases. I'd like to hear your perspective. Take your time. I enjoy talking with you. None of these phrases are magic. Their power comes from the qualities they represent. Genuine curiosity, patience, honest appreciation. When these qualities become part of your personality, not just your vocabulary, you develop something far more valuable than clever conversation. You develop presence, and presence is what people remember. In the next section, we'll look at the 5 common mistakes that quietly weaken attraction and connection, even when your intentions are good, and how to avoid them. The 5 mistakes that quietly push people away. Now that we've talked about 3 simple phrases that reflect confidence, let's discuss something even more important. Sometimes, success in communication isn't about saying more. It's about avoiding the habits that unintentionally create distance. Many people believe attraction is lost because they didn't say the perfect words. In reality, it's often lost because of behaviors that create pressure, insecurity, or a lack of authenticity. Let's look at 5 common mistakes. Mistake number 1. Trying too hard to impress. Have you ever met someone who constantly talks about their achievements? Every story somehow becomes about how successful they are. Every conversation turns into a competition. At first, this may seem like confidence, but genuine confidence rarely needs constant advertisement. People are often more impressed by quiet self-assurance than by endless self-promotion. Instead of trying to prove your value, let your actions speak for themselves. Talk about your passions naturally, share your experiences when they're relevant, and be just as interested in learning about the other person as you are in talking about yourself. Balanced conversations are usually more enjoyable than one-sided performances. Mistake number 2, seeking constant validation. One of the biggest communication mistakes is relying on another person's attention to feel secure. Examples include repeatedly asking if they like you, becoming upset if they don't reply immediately, overthinking every message, constantly looking for reassurance. While it's natural to appreciate attention, building your self-worth around someone else's responses can create unnecessary pressure. Healthy confidence comes from knowing your value regardless of immediate feedback. Ironically, people often enjoy conversations more when neither person feels responsible for managing the other's emotions. Mistake number 3, ignoring boundaries. Respect is one of the strongest foundations of any meaningful relationship. Everyone has different comfort levels, personal schedules, and communication styles. Pay attention to those differences. If someone seems busy, distracted, or not interested in continuing a conversation, it's okay to give them space. Respecting boundaries demonstrates emotional maturity. It also creates an environment where future conversations are more likely to feel comfortable and genuine. Mistake number 4, pretending to be someone you're not. Some people try to create an image they think others will find attractive. They exaggerate stories, they hide their real opinions, they pretend to enjoy things they don't actually enjoy. The problem is that maintaining a false image becomes exhausting. Authenticity doesn't mean revealing everything immediately. It means allowing your real personality to come through over time. People may not remember every detail you shared, but they often remember whether your behavior felt genuine. Mistake number 5, forgetting that connection takes time. Modern culture encourages instant results, instant replies, instant chemistry, instant relationships. Real human connection rarely works that way. Trust develops through consistency. Respect grows through repeated positive interactions. Meaningful relationships often evolve gradually rather than appearing overnight. Patience isn't a weakness. It's a sign that you understand relationships are built, not rushed. The bigger picture. If there's one lesson to remember from this video, it's this. People are generally drawn to those who make interactions feel safe, respectful, and authentic. No phrase can guarantee attraction. No technique works on everyone. Every individual is unique with their own experiences, preferences, and boundaries. But qualities like confidence, curiosity, empathy, and emotional intelligence consistently help create better conversations and stronger relationships. Those qualities aren't tricks, they're habits, and habits can be developed. In the final part of this video, we'll bring everything together with one powerful principle that explains why genuine presence leaves a lasting impression and how you can start applying it in everyday life. The magnetic presence principle. Final conclusion. Before we end this video, let's bring everything together. You clicked on this video because you wanted to understand what creates a memorable impression. Maybe you thought the answer would be a secret phrase, maybe you expected a hidden psychological trick. But as you've seen throughout this video, the real answer is much simpler and much more powerful. People rarely remember you because you said the perfect words. They remember how they felt when they were around you. That's what we call magnetic presence. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about having the best pickup line. It's not about pretending to be mysterious. Instead, magnetic presence is built on qualities that people naturally appreciate: calm confidence, genuine curiosity, emotional maturity, respect for boundaries, honest communication, consistency between your words and your actions. When these qualities become part of your character, conversations begin to feel effortless. You stop worrying about saying the perfect thing. You stop chasing approval. You stop trying to impress everyone. Instead, you focus on creating meaningful interactions, and that shift changes everything. The 3 principles to remember. Throughout this video, we explored 3 simple phrases, not because they're magic, but because they reflect healthy communication. First, I'd like to hear your perspective. This reminds us that people value being listened to and respected. Second, take your time. This reflects patience, emotional security, and confidence. Third, I enjoy talking with you. This expresses sincere appreciation without creating pressure or expectations. Notice the common thread. None of these phrases are about controlling another person's emotions. They're about becoming the kind of person others enjoy spending time with. That's a goal worth pursuing in every relationship, whether it's romantic, professional, or personal. Your daily challenge. Here's a simple challenge for the next week. In your conversations, listen more than you interrupt. Ask one thoughtful question before talking about yourself. Stay calm during moments of silence. Give genuine compliments when you mean them. Respect people's boundaries and pace. You may be surprised by how much these small habits improve your interactions, not because they're tricks, but because they demonstrate emotional intelligence and confidence. Final thoughts. True confidence isn't measured by how many people notice you. It's measured by how comfortable you are being yourself. Real attraction isn't built on manipulation. It's built on mutual respect, trust, and authentic connection. And the strongest presence isn't something you pretend to have. It's something you develop day by day through your actions, your mindset, and the way you treat others. If you focus on becoming a better communicator, a better listener, and a more emotionally grounded person, you'll leave positive impressions that last far longer than any scripted line ever could. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more content on confidence, communication, emotional intelligence, and the psychology of attraction, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Magnetic Presence Mastery, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. I'd love to hear from you. Which idea from today's video stood out to you the most and why? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective might help someone else who's watching. Until next time. Keep mastering your presence, keep growing your confidence, and remember, the most magnetic person in the room is rarely the one trying the hardest to be noticed. It's the one who makes others feel respected, comfortable, and genuinely understood. See you in the next video.